ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुक्तापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपदां सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च श्रीकृष्णकरुणासिन्धु दीनबन्धुजगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्तराधाकान्तनमस्ते गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी विश्वभानुसुदेवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So welcome to corporate Bhagavad Gita. We are continuing from where we stopped. We were in the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. In the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, just for the sake of keeping the recording, I will do a recap till the first 8 or maybe 13 verses, so that it can be recorded. Last 2 weeks we couldn't record. Okay. So this 8th chapter is called Attaining the Supreme. Attaining the Supreme means on the path of liberation or moksha, what happens after moksha? Where do you go? Where do you go? So in the previous chapter, four types of people who surrender to Krishna and who don't surrender to Krishna. These 8 types are discussed. These 2 verses. Those who are lowest among mankind, those whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, and those who are atheist, demoniac, they don't surrender to Krishna. Now, who are the ones who surrender? Those who are distressed in life. Some problems are there in life, so therefore we all approach God. That's pretty natural. Desire of wealth, we want some wealth in life, so Krishna also knows this, so people approach him. The inquisitive means the inquisitive is for knowledge, because just being free of difficulties is not the aim. Having lot of wealth is also not fully satisfying. We want some knowledge. What is this world? What is it all about? So that kind of inquisitiveness is there. So Krishna gives knowledge, like he's giving us Bhagavad Gita, the whole Vedas he gives. So they approach God for knowledge, and one who knows God, he wants to know exactly who is he, what is it. So that is called the Jnani. So these 4 people are there, and they perform devotional service, and they advance in their spiritual life, and what path they achieve is discussed in this chapter. Okay. So at the very end of 7th chapter, Krishna says, he says this word, Sahadi Bhutanam Daivam Mam Sadi Yagyam Save Vidu Prayana Kale Mam Te Vidur Yukta Chetasa. So he uses certain words here, and he says these are all me. What is all? Adi Bhuta, Adi Daivam, Adi Yagyam, Kale. All these are me. And those who remember me at the time of death, they come back to me. So Arjuna asked the same questions. What is this all about? Do you explain these words to me? So I'll just so Arjuna asked this question here. Kim tad brahma kim adhyatmam kim karma purushottama adi bhutam sa kim proktam adi daivam kim uchyate. Kim means what? What is this Brahman? What is adhyatmam? What is purushottam? What is adi bhutam adi daivam? So he's asking all these questions. And Krishna is going to answer that. Adi yagyam katham cho atra. What is adi yagya? Prayana kala, the time of death. What is that? Hmm? So Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, he explains, he starts explaining uh, in this chapter. He says the Brahman is spirit being. See, we have this external body with us. Let me just pull out PPT. We have this external body, right? This external body is simply a biomechanical machine, a biochemical, uh, biochemical mechanical machine. Okay, so in this machine is driven by a being, Jivatma, who is not made of blood, air, ether, water, flesh. Okay, it is antimatter, or it is spirit in nature, spiritual. It's Atma, it's called Atma. So this Atma is the Brahman, and with this Atma there is Paramatma also, and that is also Brahman. The difference between the two is this one is single Atma and this is Para Brahman. Para means supreme. So superior Brahman, and this is just normal ordinary Brahman. But this is very important to understand. Why? Because the moment we understand that Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman, I am spirit, our detachments, our attachments to this world reduce just by this understanding. Why? Because we know, okay, I'm eternally living, I'm just passing through in this human journey. At the time of that, I'll take new body, and you know I don't have to be so much worried of the present hankerings and attachment that I have. So this understanding of Brahman is very, very important in spiritual life. I am spirit. So coming back to question. So first here Krishna talks about living entity, the Jivatma, the Atma, that is there within our own body, and which is our real self. Our real identity is the Atma. That is called Brahman. His eternal nature is Adhyatma, the self. Then what is karma? Karma is activities which will define the next material bodies that we have to get. Okay, so if we are to buy a car in a showroom, it will depend on the budget that we have. It will depend on the savings that we have, right? Similarly, whatever activity we do in our life, we generate, pious credits, impious credits, and depending on that, next life is decided. If somebody has done sinful activity, definitely next life family won't be good. Family will be bad good. But if someone has done pious activities, they'll definitely get a pious family. So like that it is. So karma means what activities we perform in our world. Hmm? It defines our next body. That is karma. Adi bhutam shiro bhava purushas cha idivam. So next questions he asks, he says the physical nature that we see, this material world that we are seeing, the earth, the atmosphere, the plants, everything is material substances. It's called Adi Bhuta. Someone, I'll just mute. You can unmute later and speak. Hmm. Adibhuta. Adibhuta means whatever is around us is Adibhuta, the physical nature, the material world is called Adibhuta. It is always changing. And Adi Daiva is the Devatas. The Devatas which control this Adibhuta. In the Adibhuta, water, what all is there? Earth, water, fire, air, ether. So there are Devatas who are controlling the all the earth matter, all the fire in the world. That is Agni Dev. All the water in the uh, oceans and rivers, Varuna. All the rain in the universe, that is Indra. So like that, this Adi Daiva is there. And then what is Adi Yagya? Adi Yagya is not the Devatas. We may do some puja, we may do some yagya for the Devatas, but they also pass on all those credits to the Supreme Lord, Vishnu, Yagya Harta, who is the Adi Yagya. And Krishna says, I am the Adi Yagya. I am the Lord of all sacrifices. Okay. If you have any question, comment, you can interrupt and talk.
Hare Prabhu, one question here in this slok, it was mentioned the universal form of the Lord, which is including all demigods, sons, and is called Adi Deva. So the universal
Adi
form,
Daiva, Adi Daiva. Yes, that is right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
But you were saying this demigods
yeah,
are
yeah, yeah. I mean, I was just explaining the Daiva part, but Adi Daiva is actually the Virat form, where the
okay.
whole, I mean, in the body of Krishna, all the Devatas are existing.
Hmm.
That
Okay.
is that is the Adi Daiva. That is, you're right. Adi Daiva is the body of the whole. Like, we see this picture, which we will, when we reach 11th chapter, then we will also see. It's called the Virat Rupa. There's some noise. You can mute. Okay. If you have question, you can definitely unmute and speak. So in the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, we are in the 8th. So after two chapters, Krishna shows the Virat Rupa. In the Virat Rupa, all the Devatas are there. All the Devatas are there. So the Virat Rupa is the Adi Daiva. Hmm? Adi Daiva is like that. Okay. Okay. I was explaining about the relationship between Daiva and Adi Yagya. So I focused on that. But yes, next is अंतकाले च मामेव स्मरण मुक्ता कलेवरम यत यह प्रयति सदमद भावम यति नास्ति अत्र संशय. So this is a very important verse. What it says is, whatever one remembers at the time of death, he gets that particular body in the next life. And if somebody remembers Krishna, Mad Bhavam, they come to Krishna. यम यम वापि स्मरण भावम तजते अंत कलेवरम तम तम एवैति कौन्तेय सद तद भाव भावितः. Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. So if somebody is thinking about woman, next life they'll get a woman's body. If a woman is very chaste to her husband, there is very high possibility she will get the next life as a man. Okay. And if somebody who's acting like an animal only, just eating, sleeping, waiting, defending, just animalistic life, definitely they'll get body of animals. If somebody is only working hard and not caring for anything, then like body of like ant and honeybees are like that. They just work, but they don't share. They keep it for themselves. So such mentality makes our next body. Okay. To get human form of life, we should do pious activities. And to get devata body, we have to do much more pious activities, like that. But the point of Bhagavad Gita is antakaleja mameva, we have to return back to Krishna. We have to return back to Krishna. That is moksha, not remain in this world taking new bodies again and again. तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु माम अनुस्मर युद्ध च मयि अर्पित मनोबुद्धि माम एवैषि असंशय. So what Krishna says to Arjuna is that Mam Anusmara Yuddhacha. Do your duty of fighting, thinking Anusmara, Smara, thinking on of me. Hmm? See, we are all doing our duty in our offices, right? But back our mind, we are thinking of someone. Can you tell me whom we are always thinking of? Yes, when we are working in the office, we are thinking of someone else. Back of our mind. Tell me, any thoughts?
In general, if we work in office, we in general think about our work only, bro.
Yeah, we think about our work, but but ultimately, oh,
Money,
why are we doing that work? Why are we doing that work?
money for money, salary,
Fine, money, but again, why to get money?
family.
reputation, maintenance, family.
Maintenance family, right? Most of the time we are doing things because for our to keep our family, right? If you go back, it will be either ourselves and family. Yes or no?
Yes, bro.
Yeah. So if the present company is giving us good work but not good salary, what we'll do? We will change companies, right? So so our motivation is what? Our motivation is definitely to maintain the family. If we look at it now, if we look at the thing properly, it will boil down to these things: maintain ourselves, maintaining the family, right? It will boil down to that. So back of our mind, our family's thoughts are going on, and Krishna is telling here, when you fight, back in the mind you should think about me. Okay. So how to think about Krishna, that will be the next question. Maya arpito monobuddhir mam evasya asamshaya. So if we think always, if we are dedicated to Krishna and our mind and intelligence fixed on Krishna, then we will attain him without doubt. We will attain Krishna. Now question is, um, what is the advantage of attaining Krishna? If we understand this, then we will appreciate why it is said we need to attain Krishna. Any thoughts on that?
To be free from this cycle of birth and death.
Yeah, Krishna is Mukunda. He gives us mukti, definitely. Yeah, that is one reason. We will get moksha, no more bodies. We will be eternally in the spiritual world. Yes, that is true. Any more reasons? What we will do with Krishna? Once we attain him, what are we going to do?
We'll serve him with
Yeah, so
love.
yes. So I'll show you. Hopefully I may have the slide. Okay. This is a picture from the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So it says that this world is a reflection of the real world that is in the spiritual world. So here you see Krishna is there, and with him his friends are there, his family is there, his servants are there, and he's playing with everyone. Okay, in different relations. There are four kinds of relationship, for five kinds of relationship. Shantaras, Sakhyaras, Vatsalyaras, Madhuryaras. So one can be in relationship with Krishna as a Sakhya. Sakhya means friend. Another is Vatsalya, where the love is so much that one wants to protect Krishna as a father or a mother. And then one wants to love Krishna on the Madhurya level, conjugal love. So when we attain Krishna, we will serve him in one of these predetermined services in this relationship, rasa. Okay. And it will be very sweet. Um, it won't be duality. Duality means in this world, right? We face happiness and distress. There is sometimes happiness, there is sometimes distress. But in the spiritual world, there is no distress at all. A distressful situation can be there, but it will still give us happiness. What I mean is, in this world, in this world, how we experience, we may experience anger from our loved ones, and that pains our heart, right? That pains our heart. Sometimes, parents say, we took care of our son so much. Now see how harshly he's talking. Huh? So that harsh words is paining us, right? That is the experience in this world. Now in the spiritual world, similar situation may be there. Someone may get angry on Krishna, or Krishna may get angry on you. But the result is not pain of heart. The result is not it will be pain in heart. It will give pleasure. How to understand this? So, so those who all are parents, we may have toddler children. Now sometimes jokingly we may get angry on them, and the child also takes it very happily. He doesn't get upset that my parents are angry. Jokingly we may call some names to our child, and the child is not going to matter anything. He's going to be happy even if you get angry. And that anger is not out of hurting others. It is out of love only. So that kind of thing is going on in the spiritual world, where the anger, the envy, the dvesha, everything is out of love. It is not out of malice. Malice means to hurt someone. In this material world that we live in, it is out of malice. I want to really hurt that person. That is sometimes a motivation. Many a times a motivation to become angry. But in the spiritual world, it is not like. So that's why it is called absolute. And here it is called duality. Material world is duality. We experience two opposite experiences, feelings, emotions. But in the spiritual world, whatever be the emotion, negative, positive, we will experience happiness only. You must have heard this modulus in mathematics. It's written like this: minus one. What is modulus of minus one?
One only.
And what is modulus of one? One.
That is also one.
Yeah. So that's why it is called absolute. So in the spiritual world, it is like this. It is modulus. Even the anger will give us pleasure. So this is what it means by attaining Krishna. Okay, so it is not a very simple thing. It's a very great thing to attain Krishna. Okay. Abhyasa yoga yuktena chetasa nanya gamina paramam purusham divyam yat yati parthanu chintaya. He who meditates on me as a supreme personal Godhead, his mind constantly engaged in remembering me, undeviated from the path, O Partha, is sure to reach me. So if one is engaging in Krishna's service, he will definitely remember Krishna. And at the time of death, and he will reach Krishna. After reaching Krishna, he'll be with Krishna in one of the relationships that one of the relationships it will be. That is real moksha. Okay, so we'll start from ninth verse here. Any question till now? Any question till now?
No problem.
Okay, okay. Okay, so ninth person. Okay. कविं पुराणम् अनुशासितारम् अनयोरनीयशाम् अनुस्मेरत यः सर्वस्य धातारम् अचिन्त्यरूपम् आदित्यवर्णं तमसः परस्तात्. So now Krishna says how we can remember him. So these are his list of his opulences. Opulence means something great that he has, which nobody has. Okay, if we remember Krishna all that, then we will get transferred to Krishna. One should meditate upon the supreme person as one who knows everything. Okay, God knows everything. We don't doubt it. Okay, he who is oldest, yeah, he's the oldest. So sometime in Europe, one artist, was very interested in drawing God, and then he knew that God is oldest. So how did he drew God? He drew God as the old man, very old man, because he's the oldest, so he'll be old. That was his conception. But what is Sri Krishna? He is beautiful and he is the oldest. So this oldest means in spiritual terms, okay? In spiritual terms, there is no deterioration, there is no degradation. So even if there is oldest, it is no more degradation. Krishna in the battlefield of Kurukshetra was almost 120 plus years old. But still he was looking like a 15-year-old boy. Very young boy, soft body, you know. And he was looking very beautiful. So even though he may be oldest, but he's not, his body is not deteriorated. Who is the controller? Interesting word. The word controller is used. The whole universe is under control. Okay, we may not see the devatas, but they are controlling on behalf of Krishna. They are being given service by Krishna to control this universe. Just like the Prime Minister has so many departments under it. Water department, road department, and there are ministers who are controlling these departments. Like today Nitin Gadkari is taking care of the roads, someone is taking care of the railways, someone is taking care of the technology, the so many things. So the devatas are like that, but all these ministers, they report to whom? Prime Minister, right? So Krishna is like that prime minister who controls everything. He's smaller than the smallest, meaning he's there in every atom in this world. Every atom in this world. He's the maintainer of everything. He provides everybody. All the food, water, everything he's providing through his agents, who is beyond all material conception. So he is not matter. He is spirit. He is Brahman, who is inconceivable. Very difficult to understand God. Inconceivable. Who is always a person. He's a person. He's not just energy. He's the energetic. He's luminous like the sun. So he's bright, he's self illuminated, and he's transcendent beyond this material nature. Transcendent means this material nature doesn't affect him. Okay? It's a very important verse because in the previous chapter, yeah, These four people are there, right? Distress, desire of wealth, and inquisitive. So it is the distress and the desires, this desire of wealth. These category people, right? They remember Krishna with all these qualities. And then they return to Krishna in the opulent form. Where this all this opulence is there, na, they return to him. Like that. The process of thinking of the Supreme is mentioned in this verse. The foremost point is that he is not impersonal or void. Many people say God is light, God is energy, he doesn't have form. But it is not like that. His form is transcendental. His form is transcendental. Transcendental, it is not matter, it is spirit. It's not made of flesh, bones, blood. It's not made of all that. It's made of Satchid Ananda Vigraha. It's fully spiritual. One cannot meditate on something impersonal or void. So if somebody is saying I'm meditating on emptiness, it's not possible. You need to have some form that you should meditate on. That is very difficult. The process of thinking of Krishna, however, is very easy and is factually stated here. First of all, Lord is the Purusha, a person who thinks of the person Rama and the person Krishna. We think of the person Rama and Krishna. So when we say Sri Ram or Sri Krishna, we remember the person behind it. And whether one thinks of Rama or of Krishna, what he like is described in this verse, Bhagavad Gita. The Lord is Kavi, that is, he knows past, present, and future, and therefore knows everything. He is the oldest personality because he is the origin of everything. Everything is born out of him. He is also supreme control of the universe, and he is the maintainer of instructor of humanity. He is smaller than the smallest. The living entity is 1/10,000 tip of the hair. But the Lord is inconceivably small that he enters into the heart of this particle. The soul is itself very small. It is 1/10,000 tip of the hair. That means take a tip of the hair, cut it 1,000 times. Then take one part of that 1,000 parts, then cut one more 10,000 into 1,000 into it. What remains is the size of atom. Sorry, that is the size of the living entity, the Jivatma, the Atma. Okay, that is just idea given how small it is. But the Lord is so inconceivably small that he enters into the heart of the particle. So he remains in that every atom in this world. Therefore, he is called smaller than the smallest. As the supreme, he can enter into the atom and into the heart of the smallest and control him as the super soul. Although so small, he is still all pervading and is maintaining everything. By him, all the planetary systems are sustained. We often wonder how these big planets are floating in the air. It is stated here that Supreme Lord, by his inconceivable energy, is sustaining all these big planets and system of galaxies. The word Achintya is very significant in this connection. uh, who can argue this point? So, whenever God's powers are explained, right, in the Vedas, they use the word Achintya. Achintya means inconceivable, means it is very difficult to understand. Now, let's say we were in schools, you know, 6th standard, 5th standard, 4th standard, whatever. And our parents took us to a mall. Now, when we enter the mall, the door automatically opens, right? Because there is a motion detector, it detects and then it opens the door. And the motor, pulls the door apart. And then we enter. But you will see small children playing with the door. They'll come near the door, they'll make it open. Then they'll go far away, it will again close, right? For them, it is like magic. Now, if we were to explain the fifth grader, how does door work, automatic door work, it is difficult for them, right? It is almost inconceivable. Why? Why a small child will find it very difficult to understand an automatic door? Any
L-
thoughts?
level of level of understanding is very low.
Yeah, level of understanding is very low. So for the child, it is inconceivable. It is almost achintya. So according to our brain, we can conceive the supreme, the God. We can conceive through some logic, through some proofs, right? But to conceive the full expanse of his energy and control and power is very difficult. So therefore, it is called as inconceivable. Inconceivable doesn't mean that we can never understand. No, it means that we cannot fully understand. Like we get married, our spouse can understand us a little bit, but can it fully understand? No, right? We'll see here sometimes people, I'm married for last 20 years, but still I don't understand my wife, or still I don't understand my husband, right? We hear such people, right? But some predictability they can do, because they are living with that person, so they know what is going to happen. Sometimes you are walking in the wall with your spouse, husband and wife going together. If there comes a particular shop, let's say jewelry shop, the husband knows what is the next step of his wife, right? Yes or no? You don't have experience of that? Anyone? You take your child in the mall, you just know if he passes through certain shops, he's just going to go inside that, right? Isn't it?
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
Yeah, yeah, that's natural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we may try to avoid it by going through other route and all that. We may do some mischief. Now
Mm.
the same thing goes with the wife. If she sees something that is going to attract her husband, she knows this
Mm.
is, my husband will go now there, finish. She knows. So some conceivable things are there. Some things we can conceive, but everything about them is not conceivable, right? It is kind of achintya. So like that, same. Some things of God we can conceive, definitely. This whole world is moving under his direction. We can conceive a little bit, but can we conceive the full extent of it? No, right? That's not possible. So that's what it means by this word achintya. Okay, spend some time here, because this is a pretty common answer that the Vedas give when they are trying to describe God. He's achintya. So we should not become discouraged. Achintya means what? Anything you say, anything is achintya, cannot be understood, then why are we trying to explain? No, it is not like that. We can explain him to certain extent, but not fully. Who can argue this point? He pervades this material world, and is yet it is beyond it. We cannot comprehend even this material world. What's insignificant compared to the spiritual world? So this I was explaining, that even in this material world, we are not able to fully understand things. Then what to talk about the spiritual world and the creator of the spiritual world, the supreme Lord? Very difficult. But that is not to discourage. It is not like we should not ask. Okay. It is that we need to understand that there is some limit to it also. To understand the unlimited is not possible. But the unlimited can be understood to what extent we can understand. Now, what is our power? We can then understand to that point. Not fully. So, how can we comprehend what is beyond? Achinta means that is beyond the material world. that which our argument, logic, and philosophical speculation cannot touch. So when our argument fails, logic fails, philosophical speculation fails, then we have reached the state of not. Then we have understood that the Supreme Lord is achintya. Therefore, the intelligent persons avoiding useless arguments and speculations should accept what is stated in the scriptures like Vedas, Bhagavad Gita, and Srimad Bhagavatam, and follow the principles they set down. This will lead one to the understanding. So instead of arguing over this inconceivable potency, inconceivable explanation, we basically accept what is there in the Vedas and then follow the principles, follow the spiritual life. This will help us to advance more and benefit us more rather than argument over this point of achintya. That is what, because a lot of people they get into this argument of God and they just don't want to come out of it. Instead, Krishna is saying you start working on it. You start doing service, you start doing seva, you start doing spiritual life, adhyatma life. Don't just keep arguing, it won't take you anywhere. प्रायण काल मनसा चलेन भक्त्या युक्तो योग बलेन चैव गृहुर मध्ये प्राणम अविशेय सम्यक सतम परम पुरुषम उपैति दिव्य. One who at the time of death fixes his life hair between the eyebrows and by strength of yoga with undeviating mind engages himself in remembering the Supreme Lord in full devotion will certainly attain to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So now there are various yoga systems. Various yoga systems are there. One is Jnana Kanda, or let's say Jnana Yoga, not Kanda, it is Yoga. Then there is Dhyana Yoga. Then there is Karma Yoga. And there is Bhakti Yoga. So, using karma, one tries to attain the Supreme. One tries to know the Supreme. That is karma. Using jnana, he has to become learned. He has to read a lot of books and speculate, argue. Using that, he does jnana yoga. Then dhyana yoga, one does meditation and then sees the super soul within the heart. That is dhyana yoga. Then bhakti yoga is where one serves the Lord by chanting his holy name. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam. All that activities one does in bhakti. Okay, so now I was talking about this yoga where one fixes his life hair between the eyebrows. So this comes in the Dhyana Yoga part. Dhyana Yoga part. So in Dhyana Yoga, one does like that. I'll just show you pictures of Dhyana Yoga. All this is Dhyana Yoga. You do Dhyana, meditation. In the 6th chapter, Krishna talks about Dhyana Yoga and he says how it's to be done. To practice Dhyana Yoga, one should go to secluded place and should lay kusha grass on the ground and then cover it with a deer skin and soft cloth. The seat should not be neither too high nor too low and should be situated in a sacred place. The yogi should then sit on it very firmly and practice yoga, purify the heart by controlling his mind, senses and activities and fixing his mind on one point. So basically he should go to a secluded place, that is a forest. Forest, there is no disturbance. So he basically goes to in the forest. So he leaves everything on the house, he goes to forest. Actually that is one of the requirements of Dhyana Yoga. You have to leave home and you have to go to forest. You have to use the kusha grass and then cover it with a deer skin and a soft cloth and then sit on it, don't move and practice this Dhyana Yoga. What is this Dhyana Yoga? One should hold one's body, neck, and head erect in a straight line and stare steadily at the tip of the nose and chant Om like that. So our eyes are, I mean, this Dhyan Yogi's eyes are half closed. Why? Because he has to see the tip of the nose and then he has to chant. Why is the eyes half closed? Why it is not fully open? Can anyone tell? Guess.
To avoid distractions.
Yeah. And why it is not fully closed then? Generally, people close their eyes fully, but actually, according to Bhagavad Gita, one should have his eyes half open and see the tip of the nose. But what is the problem if we keep the eyes fully closed?
Like something is, if someone like to keep yourself safe also, because because they used to go to the forest for this dhyan. So sometimes if animals and anyone comes, so like that.
So that's why they sit on a seat that is neither too high nor too low, and they use a deer skin. A deer skin, keeps off the ants, the snakes away, and a platform which is neither too high nor too low, right? So animal won't attack so easily. That is why these things are there. Um, but the answer, like, if we keep our eyes fully closed, right, we will go to sleep. So therefore, we cannot keep the eyes fully open and neither fully close the eyes. I was once in a Dhyan yoga session, and there they had told us to keep the eyes our fully closed and then do breathing exercise. And we were doing it, and after like 5-10 minutes, one person came and he shook me. He said me, get up, get up, get up, you're sleeping. And I opened my eyes, and I thought I was not sleeping, but actually half an hour had passed. That whole breathing exercise made me sleep with my eyes closed. So that's why Dhyan Yoga is done with half eyes open, and closed like that. At the tip of the nose, one should say. Uh, so yeah, this is the process of Dhyan Yoga. So if you see, very very tough process. One has to go to forest. That is compulsory, and then with an unagitated, subdued mind, devoid of fear, completely free from sex life, association with women, association with opposite sex, free from that. No more association. One should meditate upon me in the heart and make me the ultimate goal of life. This is actual Dhyan Yoga. In this Dhyan Yoga, one reaches to this point where he can control his life hair between the eyebrows. And then he can remember Supreme Lord in full devotion. Okay. First, sit straight, half eyes closed, chant Om. And then, after many, many years of practice, control the life hair, bring it to the eyebrows. Then, mind should not deviate here and there. Then, think of Krishna in full devotion. By doing this for many years, one will be able to see the super soul within the heart. What is the super soul? The Paramatma. Uh, there is our picture. Yeah. Paramatma is four-handed form of Vishnu. So then one will see this four-handed form of Vishnu in his heart. It is said that it will be of the size of his thumb. That much size we will see. But this is all Dhyan Yoga. Okay. So when one does this Dhyan Yoga, he reaches a certain place. That is the main point. So that's why this chapter name is Attaining the Supreme. Okay. In this verse, it is clearly stated that at the time of death, one must be fixed in devotion to the Supreme Personal Godhead. For those practiced in yoga, as recommended, they raise the life force within the eyebrows to Agya Chakra, Agnya Chakra. I really don't know all this. The practice of such chakra yoga. I don't know about this. So I also don't know. Involving meditation on six chakras as suggested here. A pure devotee does not practice such yoga. So, bhakti yoga devotees, they don't practice this kind of yoga. They may do some yoga asanas and some pranayams to keep their body fit, but ultimately they will take to the practice of what is there in the bhakti yoga. That is chanting the holy name, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada Sevam, those all. So Bhakta won't do all these things because he always engaged in Krishna consciousness. At death, he can remember Krishna, Supreme Person of God by grace. This is explained in verse 14. The particular use of the word Yoga Balena is significant. Yoga Balena means the power of the yoga. Because without the practice of yoga, whether Sat Karma or Bhakti Yoga, one cannot come to this transcendental state of being at the time of death. So, if one wants to remember Krishna at the time of death, one should develop this Yoga Balena, the strength from the yoga. Now, whichever yoga it may be, now, there are four yogas, whichever yoga it may be, he has to develop that strength by his practice, by very strict practice for many years. Then at the time of death, one can free his mind and focus on Krishna. Otherwise, one will still be attracted and attached to their present life. One cannot suddenly remember Supreme Lord at death. One must have practiced some yoga system, especially the system of Bhakti Yoga. Since one mind at death is very disturbed, one should practice transcendence through yoga during one's life. Any question?
No problem.
Okay, sure. Okay. Yad aksharam ved vido vadanti vishanti yatato vitaragaha yad icchanto brahmacharyam charanti te tatte padam sangrahena pravakshaye. So these are the requirements of this Dhyan Yoga. What are those? Persons who are learned in knowledge, who utter Omkara, they chant, they say Om in their meditation, and they are learned in the Vedas, who are great sages in renounced order of life, meaning they have left family life. Renounced order of life means sannyas ashram, to enter into Brahman, hmm, to realize that they are Brahman. Desiring such perfection, one practices celibacy. He gives up association of women. I shall now briefly explain to you this process by which one may attain salvation. Okay. Lord Sri Krishna has recommended to Arjuna the practice of Sat Chakra Yoga, in which one places the air of life between the eyebrows. Taking it for granted, the Arjuna might not know how to practice Sat Chakra Yoga. The Lord explains the process in the following verse. So, how to practice this is explained. The Lord says the Brahman, although one without a second, has various manifestation and features. Especially for the impersonation, the Akshara or Omkara, the syllable Om is identical with Brahman. So this sound vibration of Om, right? It brings the person on the spiritual platform, and this is experienced all over the world. Even in Buddhism, they chant Om, and if you also chant Om, or if you learn some pranayam and all that, they'll teach you how to chant Om, deep breath, and then release it while releasing Om, like that. So you will see that you will attain some peace of mind. That is like a very minimum experience. The highest experience is where you can control a life where within the eyebrows and then think about Krishna. Okay. In the Vedic system of knowledge, students from very beginning are taught to vibrate Om and learn of the ultimate impersonal Brahman by living with the spiritual master in complete celibacy. In this way, they realize two of the Brahman features. Okay, I'll talk about these two of the Brahman features in a short time. Let me finish this paragraph. This practice is very essential for the student's advancement in spiritual life, but at the moment, such brahmachari life is not at all possible. The social construction of the world has changed so much there is no possibility of one practicing celibacy from the beginning. At present, we don't have this brahmachari ashram very strongly in this world. When boys, they get up, they grow, right, then they are sent to gurukul to be in the brahmachari ashram, where they will learn both material and spiritual knowledge. And then after 10 years, 20 and 15 and 20 years of practice over there, one comes back into his parents, and 99% get married. Very few may remain unmarried. 99% is married. Throughout the world, there are many institutions of different departments of knowledge, but there is no recognized institution where students can be educated in the brahmachari principles unless one practice celibacy. So this is for the dhyan yoga, okay, that one has to practice celibacy. Advancement in spiritual life is very difficult. In bhakti yoga, also celibacy comes, but there are two definitions of celibacy in bhakti yoga. One is complete avoidance of women, and one is only with the wife. That is also considered celibacy. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya had announced that according to spiritual injunctions for this age, Kali, there is no other process of realizing the Supreme except the chanting of the holy name of Lord Sri Krishna, that is Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, in this age, right, practicing this Sat Chakra Yoga is very difficult. It, it won't be that much possible. One's mind will always be disturbed. So, for this age, what is recommended? Kali Santana Upanishad says, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama Eva Keva. The chanting of um, the names of Lord Hari. And this is the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. There are other names also of Lord Hari. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Narsimhaya. Like that. Those all Vishnu Tattvas. Not the Devatas. Devatas are not included, okay? Devatas are like Lord Shiva, Brahma, Indra. Those are not included. Those are not included. Okay, here only Krishna and Vishnu Tattva is there. And this is the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. For other mantras, there are some rules. Okay, like to chant Om, one has to take bath. Okay, to chant Gayatri, one has to take initiation from a Brahmana. Okay, Upanayam and all that is required. Now, in case of this mantra, it is only consisting of the names of Krishna, Rama, Hare. Therefore, this doesn't require any hard rules. No? It can be chanted anywhere, any place, any occasion. That is the power of the holy name of Krishna. That's why it's called Maha Mantra. It has no restriction, no hard and soft. What is that? No hard rules. Okay. So it's already 2 p.m. Let's open up for some questions. Any comments? Questions and comments? Any?
Chanting this Maha Mantra is Bhakti Yoga, right?
Yes.
Okay. So is it equal to other yogas like Dhyana Yoga, Karma Yoga?
Yuga, you said yuga or yoga?
Yoga.
It is different. What? Sorry?
Is it equal to all these yogas are equally?
Okay. I understand your question.
Yeah.
So in the Bhagavad Gita, it is explained like um, there are stages. One is karmi, then there is karma kanda, and then you start yoga. So karmi stage is what? Karmi stage is I will work and enjoy. That's it. I don't want anything else in life. We see many people like that, right? They just work, get money, enjoy. That is karmi state. Nothing of even religious life. No religious life. Like, criminal people earn money, enjoy. Karma kanda. Karma kanda is you do work, is you do karma, which according to the Vedas, but you have fruitive mentality. Fruitive mentality means I will do this puja, I will get this benefit. Therefore, I will do this puja. So the fruitive mentality. So it's called karma kandi. Karma kanda section. Karma kanda section is like okay. What happens after death of karmi? They get animal life. But in case of karma kanda, they may go to swargaloka, to whichever devata they are worshipping. Okay. Now, when one is doing this karma kanda, which a lot of people do, one is simply going into one planet, then coming back on the earth, sometimes going to patal lok. So it is like you are there in the cycle of birth and death. And when one understands that I want to get rid of the cycle of birth and death, he turns to yoga. That is the time. So when there is a spiritual awakening, right, he turns to yoga. Now, one may be in this world and he has to work. So he can use his work connected with Krishna, and that thing is called as karma yoga. Karma yoga is when we connect our karma with Krishna. How do we connect? First, I am explaining this, and then I'll come back to your question. Karma is where you may do your karma to be as a duty, selfless, offer the results to Krishna, and loka sangra. Loka sangra means for welfare activity of the people. Why welfare activity is important? Because one is detached. Only when one is detached, right, he can do welfare activity for the people. We see so many politicians. They are finding it difficult to do welfare activity for all, while some politicians are ready to do. What is the difference between these two politicians? The difference is that one who is doing welfare activity is very detached, he's selfless, he's honest, and therefore he can do welfare activity. But one who wants 40% commission from the contractors and buy land for them and make a city, that kind of selfish and greedy politicians, they can never do welfare work. Okay. So when these things are satisfied, right, one is doing karma yoga. And Gyan Yoga is where one gets knowledge and he goes deep into the knowledge. And then through knowledge, he realizes Krishna. And their dhyana, he starts meditating. This is what we are discussing. He starts meditating. And then he sees the super soul within his heart. Okay, that is the goal of Jnana Yoga. Okay, one sees the super soul in his heart. In Jnana Yoga, right, one may merge into Brahman. One may merge into the Brahman, that is spiritual effulgence. One may merge there. In Bhakti Yoga, one does devotional service to Krishna. Okay. Now your question is, are all these same? So they don't look same. That is there. They don't look same. Even the results are also different. Karmis, the result is animal life. Karma kanda is like you may go to Swargaloka, Pataloka, just be in this world. That's it. Karma yoga is the result is one becomes detached, and then he slowly gains knowledge and meditates and then comes to the platform of devotional service. Jnana kanda also, he gets so much knowledge and he keeps that clarity to even merge into the Brahman. And if he gets association of a devotee, then he will take devotional service. Dhyana also, he meditates, he sees the super soul within his heart, and he may start offering prayers and all that. And then in association of a devotee, he will take to devotional service. So what I'm trying to say is, ultimately one needs to come to this platform, Bhakti Yoga.
Okay, these
Whatever
are the
yoga,
steps. Okay.
yeah. See, There are steps also, and there is elevator also.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so when in the Vedic times, like uh okay, in the Vedic times, there is the cycle of Satyug, then Treta Yug, then Dwapara Yug, right? And this is Kali Yug that is going on. You know this, right? There are four
Yeah.
like that. So in the Satyug, right, the average age that anybody lived was 100,000 years. This was average living age. How much old you are? I am 99,000 years old. It was a common statement there. So for them, the process was of dhyana. So they used to do a lot of dhyana. So by using dhyan yoga, they used to see the super soul within the heart, and if they would get connected with the devotee, then they would take to devotional service. Now Treta Yuga, average span is 10,000 years. Here it was yajna, the fire sacrifices. Those were done. Who had come in Treta Yuga? Lord Ram had come. He lived for 10,000 years. He did yajna for 10,000 years. That is there in Ramayana. In Dwapar Yuga, lifespan is 1,000 years. Here what happens is one does temple worship. Big temples are opened and temple worship happens. In Kali Yuga, is actually less than 100. So here, if I try to bring dhyana, if I try to bring yajna, if I try to bring temple worship, it is not possible, right? So here, you simply chant the holy name. Very easy. So this is the process. So now, in the Satyuga, right, one would slowly move from karma kanda to karma yoga, then to jnana yoga, dhyana yoga, bhakti yoga. Same in yajna, same in temple worship. But in Kali Yuga, these are not possible. Like karma yoga to some extent is possible, yes. But jnana and dhyana, knowledge, how much knowledge can we gather? You know, one Bhagavad Gita is 700 verses. Mahabharata is 100,000 verses. Ramayana is 24,000 verses. The whole Vedas is 10 raised to 10 verses. We cannot even gather to understand all the 700 verses only takes years. What to speak of 10 raised to 10? So this Jnana Yoga is also not possible. Is Dhyana Yoga possible? Like I said, if we keep our eyes closed, we will go to sleep. We have to first leave home, go to forest, free from everything, then meditate. How many people can do this? Very few. Very few means very few. 5 people, 6 people, 10 people, that's it. So therefore, these yogas are not easily done in this Kali Yuga. What is therefore what the ultimate yoga needs to be done when ultimately one has to come to this platform of devotional service.
Yes.
That itself is given in this Kali Yuga. So that is the concession. Sometimes you get bonanza discount, right? When you get
Yeah.
bonanza discount, what occasions do you get bonanza discount? Throughout the year or certain occasions?
Festival time.
Festival time like Diwali, Dashera.
Yeah.
Oh, bonanza discount. Suddenly, shirt pant for 100 rupees, right? Something like that. So this festival time is going on, unfortunately, in Kali Yuga.
Okay.
So therefore, bonanza is given. Nothing doing of all these things. Directly come and do the last thing. So this process of bhakti yoga, right? Lord Chaitanya came, na. It is. He didn't say to do any of these. He directly said just do bhakti yoga. So in today's context, right, it is called elevator. It is called a lift. You directly jump from wherever you are, karmi to bhakti yoga or karma yoga to bhakti yoga or dhyana yoga to bhakti yoga. There's a lift. There's a lift been made now. Okay. So coming back to question, are all of them same? Well, they are same in kind of yoga, but the result is still little different. Okay, one merges into Brahman, then super soul. One needs to come to the last yoga system, that is bhakti yoga, and Krishna is going to explain that in ninth chapter, but I will take you over there. This one. मन मना मद भक्तो मद यजी माम नमस्कुरु माम एवेश्यसि युक्तेवम आत्मनम मत parayana. Engage your mind always in me, always in thinking of me. Become my devotee. See, become my devotee. This is become my bhakta. Offer obeisances to me, worship me. This is all devotional service only. Being completely absorbed in it, surely you will come to me. Even in the last 18th chapter, he says the same thing. See, 55th verse, he says the same thing. Bhakta mam avijanati. Only those who are bhakti yogis, they only can understand me. Tattvataha, full truth, they can understand me. Um, in all activities, just depend on me and work under my protection in such devotional service. Chetasa, buddhi yogam. Buddhi yogam, another word of bhakti yoga is buddhi yogam. Buddhi yogam pashitya matchitta satatam bhava. Even in the 18th verse, he is going to repeat. Ninth chapter verses he is going to repeat because it is very important. So now to cut it short, one has to come to this bhakti yoga platform. Okay, then one will get uh, full moksha. Full moksha means there are three stages of absolute which I didn't talk, but I will list it down. One is the Brahman, another one is the Paramatma, and third one is the Bhagwan aspect. Now, Bhagwan aspect. Okay. Now Brahman is the spiritual sky. Like if you look at the picture, long time back I showed you. Let me see if quickly I can pull it out. Yeah. See, this is the material world and this is the spiritual world. And this is the Brahma Jyoti. Yeah. Brahman is the Brahma Jyoti. Okay. It is spiritual in nature. It is not made of earth, water, fire, anything. So when spiritualists say that I need to merge, they merge into Brahma Jyoti. Okay. They never enter into Vaikuntha Loka, which is beyond that. They never enter Vaikuntha Loka. So Brahman realization is mostly Jnana Yoga realization. In Dhyana Yoga, one sees the super soul within the heart, Paramatma within the heart, four-handed form of Vishnu. And then if he gets association of devotee, he'll take to devotional service and he will go further. Bhagwan aspect is Vaikuntha planets. So when one does devotional service, see this Hare Krishna Mahamantra is chanted on the material world, it reaches the spiritual world. So Vaikuntha Loka planets are there. Okay. So yeah, these aspects are there. These are three aspects of absolute truth. Now there is one problem I need to explain. What it is? This Brahma Jyoti is not a permanent place. What happens here is one gets Om Shanti 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 means peace. He gets peace. But peace is not enough. One wants to actively do something. So again they come back to the material world to do something. So therefore it is not a permanent place. But when one reaches Vaikuntha planets, he gets Shanti and he gets activity both. He gets activity both. Okay. So therefore he never falls down from the Vaikuntha planets. And to enter Vaikuntha planets, one has to do Bhakti Yoga. By other yogas, it is not possible. Other yogas is not possible to enter. In Bhakti Yoga, what happens is you are doing some service. whom you will do service. If you do some service, loving service, whom you will do? You will do loving service to one whom you have relationship with, right? Unless you have relationship, you won't do any loving selfless service. So in other yogas, na, that relationship is not fully developed. Okay, in Gyan Yoga, he is merging into Brahman. No consideration of relationship with Vishnu. In Dhyan Yoga, he gets some relationship with Super Soul because he sees the Super Soul. But it's still not complete. He doesn't know what to do next. So he keeps looking at the Super Soul, offers some prayer and all that, and just happy in that. But in devotional service, he goes beyond it. He does some service for the Lord. You know, like Hanuman, like Arjuna. They do some service like Sakya Yoga and then Seva, like that. And then Vatsalya, like Devaki and Vasudev and Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda, all that services they do. Just like a parent may take care of Krishna, right? So that all is all considered Bhakti Yoga. So when one is doing that, then they will go to the supreme home. Then Krishna will say, come to my supreme home. There we will continue our service. Okay, so there is this Vaikuntha planets. Beyond Vaikuntha planets, there is Ayodhya Dham, where Lord Ram is there, and all his servants are there. His other brothers, his mother, father, everybody is there, and they are performing that. They are in that rasa. Then above that is Dwarka Dham. Above Dwarka Dham is Golok Vrindavan. So I hope this helps you to understand.
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm?
yeah. I understand this.
This is
Yeah,
something we will discuss again and again.
yeah,
It's important to know. But yeah, in different yugas, right? They used to act like a ladder. Okay, in yugas where there was long time, right? These things would act like a ladder. But in Kali Yuga, if we try to do this ladder now, we will never climb also. So therefore,
yeah,
Bhakti Yoga is directly given to us. Bonanza discount. 100% free. Don't pray anything. You can buy. You can just pick it up and take it home. It's almost like that. So, but still, people are so karmis, na? They work and enjoy, no religious life only. But if they get association or devotee, they can directly jump from this to this bhakti yoga directly. So in Kali Yuga, it happens because time is less, memory is less, everything is less. So, so Krishna has given some big discount for bhakti yoga. This Hare Krishna Mahamantra is a secret in other yugas. Okay, in other yugas it's secret. In Kali Yuga it is open secret.
okay.
Everyone knows it, but one who knows the power of that Hare Krishna Mahamantra, they will only chant it. It's like that. Okay, okay. We have went little past because it's a very important
Yeah.
discussion. So, any last comment or can we close?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay. Thank you very much,
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Let's meet next week. We'll continue.